This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shoshana Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Grand Bahama Port Authority expressing appreciation tonight to the government for the interim extension of expiring provisions under clauses 2, subclauses 6, 7, and 8. Those provisions were expected to expire on August 4th, but the nation's leader in Parliament yesterday announced that those provisions will remain in effect for the 6 months until a final decision is made. Port President Ian Roll says he is pleased that the Prime Minister has confirmed that the tax concessions in question are of great importance to the further economic development of the city of Freeport and the entire island of Grand Bahama. Now, Vice Chairman Sarah St. George called the announcement a very positive development and indicative of the goodwill built between all parties during the consultation process with government and the special committee under Dr. Marcus Bethel. The Grand Bahama Port Authority says the company agrees entirely with the Prime Minister that further details and an analysis and dialogue are required with the government regarding immediate and long-term planning. The Port Authority also indicates its willingness to do all within its power to expedite this process. The Port Authority says the removal of the uncertainty is vital to attracting new investors and the expansion plans of existing investors in the port area. In other news, new historical sites and a nature tour now added to Bimini's tourism product. A veteran in the business has partnered with the Ministry of Tourism to make it all possible. Well, we do apologize. We'll have that story for you coming up right after this break.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. And as we told you earlier, a new historical site and a nature tour now added to Bimini's tourism product. A veteran in the business has partnered with the Ministry of Tourism to make it all possible. The island of Bimini is rich with historical landmarks and natural attractions. Operator of Gardens of the Grove here in Grand Bahama, Erica Gates, says she was contacted by officials of the Ministry of Tourism to assist in linking some of these sites as tours to help spur economic and touristic activity on the island.
In April, upon invitation by Mr. David Johnson of the Tourism Development Corporation and the chairman, Senator Julian Russell, I went to Bimini to assess the possibility of implementing or creating some nature tours as well as historical tours, and not for us to operate them, but to create economic opportunity and entrepreneurship for Biminites.
Gates traveled to South Bimini and says there will be 3 components offered on the historical and nature tours.
An existing beautiful, beautiful nature trail that had been used but had been sort of run down and wasn't maintained anymore. So that would be one component of the tour, this beautiful trail. The other component that was perfect in South Bimini was the Fountain of Youth. So we integrated that into the nature tour. And the third component was the world-renowned biological field station for shark research.
And now that the South Bimini tour is in place, the nature lover says it is time to ensure that those responsible for the tour have the right training.
It took 2 more subsequent trips for me to not only identify the people that were interested to be trained to be nature tour guides, and finally after 3 trips we had the sites in place, we had the people in place, and my last trip this month was to train them.
In other news, the 3rd cycle of the National Training Agency underway on the island of Grand Bahama. The program designed to effectively prepare youngsters for the workforce is being held at the Mary Starfleet Auditorium. Executive Director of NTA, Agatha Marcel.
What we are attempting to do with the program is to give young Bahamians the skills that they need and the certification to help them to be able to go into the workforce, get a good job, something that fits their skills.
Now, the program, she says, is very intense. The program, she says, is very intense as it seeks to raise the standards among the next generation of the Bahamian workforce.
We start them off with 4 weeks of soft skills where we have them learn about things like attitude management and workplace behaviors and the things that employers expect of them. They go through how to fill out applications, how to write resumes. We talk about teamwork, we talk about values. We do all of those things with them. What makes this kind of different is that all the training we do is competency based, meaning that as we explain to them, they in turn have to put all the things that they hear, that they learn, to action.
Well, St. Jude's Anglican Church in Smiths Point to honor their rector during a gala banquet tomorrow night. Father Stephen Dallas Grant has been serving as a minister of the gospel for the past 30 years, and for that he will be recognized. Our Megan Shepherd sat down with the Anglican priest to get some insight on his work in the gospel ministry.
Rector of St. Jude's Anglican Church, celebrating 30 years in the priesthood. He says over the past 3 decades, he has faced hills and valleys in the ministry, but he knows payday in heaven will all be worth it.
I think it is a privilege to celebrate this in this grand style, because it's that privilege, that honor that God has given me to work for Him here, to represent Him.
Father Grant grew up in the small settlement of West End, and he had a love of fishing. He says his plans never included the ministry, but God was sending him a call that he couldn't ignore.
I always wanted to be a fisherman. Yes. I guess that's because I'm from West End. And I grew up fishing, and I studied electrical installation. And so my background was really in electricity. There was always like a nagging in me. There was something always nagging that, when you gonna let me rule you, that kind of way. That's what I had to answer. When are you going to let me rule you?
Grant adding that the support of his family has been great motivation for him over the years. He says as he serves the people through his ministry, he wants to leave a positive legacy that will honor God.
I want to be the example of our Lord. And the wonderful thing about it, He changed not. And so I don't have to worry about the change. Time will change, but I must remain constant, and constant in loving people, constant in being faithful to God, constant in being faithful to the people that He's given me to serve with and among.
Grant has served in New Providence, Long Island, Rumkey, Inagua, and in West End here on Grand Bahama. But in the years to come, he says he has big plans for St. Jude's.
I believe it is to take the Word of God through St. Jude's to more people. And so we intend for the next 5 years, we intend to take the Word out through technology.
30 years later, Grant has transitioned from fishing on the high seas to fishing for souls. Megan Shepherd, ZNS Network News.
In other news, Frank's Ice Cream putting on its summer jobs program for the 15th consecutive year. Proprietor Frank Oughton is appealing for young people to sign up for the program and take advantage of the opportunity to make money while studying the Word of God.
This year we set out to hire 5,000 kids. So far we done got over 1,000 kids. And right now we're looking for some more kids to make some rubber bands, do the other rest of stuff that we deal with. Keep the kids busy for the whole summer, make money.
From improved grades and attitudes, Frank says the program continues to mold lives in a positive way. He is convinced that it is having an outstanding impact on participants.
I have kids who I've known who enter, now they go about do speaking engagement. I have a young man, he goes all over the United States. Every time he goes to the US, he have a book to go to different places just to speak. And out of the mouth of babes and suckling, perfection praise. And that's what it's all about. And I have the very first young man who ever took the test, and the first time I ever give money, that young man is now a pastor. So that's what it's all about for me.
And the program is open to anyone from ages 2 to 25. You can sign up online at franksicecream.com or stop by the store. The award ceremony and big giveaways are set to take place at the Arlequaya Ballroom, August 23rd. And college counselors from the College of the Bahamas and 2 universities abroad have teamed up for a medical camp in High Rock, and they're all focusing on healthy choices. Megan Shepard fills us in.
Camp Healthy head to toe in High Rock, catering to over 60 students in that eastern settlement. The camp is now into its 3rd year, and organizer Dr. Mary Delashmet says they cover an array of topics aimed at helping the students make good choices.
We do arts and crafts. They've decorated a recycling bin to leave in the community. They have emphasis on health. This year we're looking at the 5 senses, which is how we tied Cameron signing into the camp. We look at safety, and this year we're looking at how to take care of your 5 senses.
Graduate nursing students at the University of Virginia are focusing on hygiene and safety. Amy Gwynn and Jacqueline Wheeler say it was important to make the lessons fun and interactive.
I started with sight, and I talked about hearing, I talked about smell, I talked about taste, and I talked about touch. So today I'm actually talking about taste.
We started out talking about safety. Our first tip, especially with this being a summer camp where we do a lot of outdoor activities, we focused on dehydration. So we talked about how our 5 senses give us the information that our bodies need more water and the importance of drinking water throughout the day. We've also talked about, today we're working on concussions and understanding the importance of sports safety and using safety equipment appropriately.
16-year-old Cameron Terrell also volunteering at the camp, teaching the students sign language. She says the students are catching on very quickly.
I actually started the national anthem today, and they learned all of that like 10 minutes ago, so it was pretty cool. I've taught them how to spell their names, how to say hi, how to introduce themselves, how to tell people about themselves, so it's really cool. It's very awesome for them to learn this.
13-year-old Lauren Dedekian of New Jersey collected hundreds of items for the camp as a part of a Girl Scouts project. She says she's very active in her church and has a passion for helping others.
I brought some painter's caps so the kids could wear them as hats, and I think that today the older kids are going to be painting them, and yesterday the younger kids did that. I brought some sports equipment like soccer balls, basketballs, jump ropes. I brought water bottles for each kid. I brought some washcloths and toothpaste and toothbrushes, so when they were learning about hygiene, it could kind of go along with that.
The week-long camp wraps up on July 24th, and on Saturday, July 25th, a health fair will be held for the High Rock community. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Megan. And now it's time to Ask the Doctor.
Hi, I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. For this segment on prostate health, which relates to the questions Jeremy from Freeport asked earlier this week, I would like to review some current recommendations for prostate screening. The American Cancer Society recommends yearly prostate screening with a digital rectal exam and blood testing for prostate-specific antigen levels starting at age 50 for men who are at average risk of prostate cancer and are expected to live at least 10 more years, age 45 for men at high risk of developing prostate cancer. This includes blacks and men who have a first-degree relative, that is, a father, brother, or son diagnosed with prostate cancer at an early age, younger than age 65, and lastly, screening is recommended for men at age 40 who are at an even higher risk, that is, those with more than one first-degree relative who had prostate cancer at an early age. Have you had your prostate checked this year? If not, please make an appointment with one of our doctors at any of our community clinics. It's important to follow up with your physician if you have any concerns about your health. After all, your health is in your hands. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
And be sure to check out the First Seagrape Homecoming Friday, July 31st through Sunday, August 2nd on the main road in Seagrape, 8 Mile Walk. Stay with us. Ricardo Liborn as a check on sports when we return.
Live one. Let's get right to it. The Northern Bahamas Bodybuilding Championships held on the weekend. Let's go to Megan Shepard for the highlights.
The 2015 Northern Bahamas Bodybuilding and Fitness Championships taking place over the weekend at the Regency Theater. President of the Bodybuilding Association, Rob Harris, says this is the largest novice lineup in a number of years. A number of accredited judges ready to determine winners in the various categories. In the figure division, Lakeisha Miller going up against two competitors, but in the end, she came out on top. In the bikini division, Tasma Thompson, Shaquelle Reckley, and Karina Ferguson going head-to-head. After the posing and assessments, it's Ferguson securing first place. Winner of the women's fitness, Kim Nesbitt, showing off her acrobatic routine. Lorraine Lafleur showing why she not only has several titles under her belt, but how she deserved the women's physique top place finish. The men of the competition had a lot to prove, bringing out their best bodies, poses, and routines. In men's physique D class, Devon Pinder showing off his hard work, Austin Williams up next on stage, and finally Damian Allen. But it seems it was Pinder who had the best physique after all. In the men's novice physique, 4 competitors going head-to-head, Jonathan Marshall first up, second to the stage, Roshiko Thompson, followed by Torrin Knowles, and last to the stage, but coming out in first place, John Claude. Men's novice physique had some vets in this category. Always a crowd favorite, Andrew Sweeting, Jimmy Norris, and this category's winner, Maurice Hall. Charles Reckley, Jimmy Norris, Andrew Sweeting, and Bernard Davis, all vying for the top spot in the competition. After first posing and flexing, veteran bodybuilder Davis walked away with the title of men's bodybuilding overall champion. Megan Shepard, ZNS Total Sports.
The Grand Bahama Flag Football League Men Finals is one side of the fair, and some aspiring players are looking at lacing up the cleats. Kenrick Hanna and the Chances Alliance took on the Bahama Rock Excavators in the men's finals, and Kenrick, playing the safety position, got the early pick. He will take this one all the way back into the end zone. Kenrick also has got some high hopes of playing professional football, and it starts with a number of tryouts.
On Thursday, I'll be heading to New York, and then I have a few more places to go after that. So it starts from Thursday. Actually, it starts from now, because everything is just a workout for me right now, and I have to show my ability on the field, off the field, and everywhere else.
You feeling pretty positive about making a break to the NFL?
Yes, I'm feeling very positive about it, because it's something I always dream of, and it's always something that I wanted.
But you're going to play flag football today. How is this helping you in terms of what you need to do?
Well, it helps me with one-on-ones and footwork, and it's a mental thing for me to get my pedals in, back pedals, different drills for me, one-on-one. Switching is going to be a good matchup today.
Kendrick was right. Chances Alliance took no pity on Bahama Rock Excavators and rocked them early on both sides of the football. The air game was flawless for the Alliance. The Excavators DB simply flat, and they got beat to the deal. The Alliance rolled to a 21-0 rout of Bahama Rock, and no excuse for the Excavators. They were simply outplayed. And that's a look at sports. Michael Sweetbell's Thompson Boulevard. That's the new name of the road that goes to the QE Sports Center. You guys have a good one.